Good morning, Principal Sir. And good morning, teachers and students out here. It's been a wonderful opportunity for me to stand in front of you. If I would be given a chance, I would always want to be a school student again, because life really takes care, and you just have to study and have fun. Life is quite pleasant. Yes, we have seen a very tough year, 2020, and 21 seems to have some ray of hope. I personally thank each and every teacher out here, and the students who sat at home. I'll call out some names: Ajay Kumar, class D, class 5, Kavisha, Rangan, Danush, there are two Danush, Satvika. So all of you have, we have not seen something like this, and neither anybody who's born earlier to us would have seen something like this. Yes, we have, as a country, we have seen wars. In my college time, I've seen a war called Kargil. Prior to that, people would have seen wars, would have seen famines, earthquakes, tsunamis. But this was way beyond and way serious and much more complicated than whatever we have seen. So this is an adversary which this generation has seen. But definitely every adversity creates an opportunity. So the start of the lockdown, it was all, I think the first lockdown, most of us thought it's a holiday. Most of us enjoyed. And subsequently it started pinching each one of us personally. People below the social status, people who are poor, they felt it earlier, and later on everybody felt it. And as far as students are concerned, yes, online. So online we used to watch YouTube videos and whatnot. The parents say don't look at computer. Now the same parents say please look at the computer. So that's how life changed us. But it's a great transition Like every country struggle. The beauty of our country lies with the people of this country. All, each one of us. You would have seen when during the first week of March when I was speaking to one of my friend who is a very senior doctor. I asked him what is coronavirus. He said he has no idea. And I asked him, is it in Chennai? No. Yes, he said, is it in Chennai? Yes, it's in Chennai. And I said, how are you going to treat them? He said, no idea, but we will treat them. So that's where it started. But if you see somewhere in the month of August and September where it actually peaked, everybody got adapted to it. Everybody was fighting for each other. Lockdowns, and we have seen in one of my NGO, whom I am part of it, Amrov Care, lot of people, children gave up their birthday celebrations. They came up, they fed the poor, they fed the street animals. They have been left high and dry. So such wonderful humanity came in the front, which we would have never ever seen in a normal life until unless such crisis comes in our face. So I take this opportunity again to specially thank the frontline soldiers, the healthcare workers, the doctors, the people who came to us every day to our homes, who picked up the garbage and ensured that we all stayed in a very, very good, clean and hygiene environment, risking their own lives. Trust me, they really risk their own lives. Yes, soldiers do, we do risk our lives when we guard our country. But this job is nothing less than what a soldier does in the border. So sincere thanks to all of them who stood for us and who stood with us. And the medicals, the doctors, it's like, like I'll give you an example. In way back and I saw the video, it's good memory for me to refresh. So we used to have a bulletproof jacket, just to protect us from getting shot. And we used to have a bulletproof helmet. So the helmet used to weigh around 2.5 kgs and the bulletproof jacket used to weigh around 5.5 kgs those times. And the rifle weighs another 5 kg and my personal ammunition and first aid kitting and all will weigh another say. So roughly around, I think my weight was 52 or so. And then we used to carry a load of around 25 kgs and walk down up the hill, which is like 16,000 feet. So I found it really difficult, but yes, we are trained. We are trained and we are trained to do it. But last year, I met a lot of doctors who used to wear a PPE, personal protective equipment, over which they will wear a N95, over which they will wear a face shield, and they will wear a goggle. And they were working for nothing less than 12 to 16 hours a day, just to save us. Just to save us. Believe me, given a chance, I would wear one more BPJ and do my work better back in Kashmir rather than wearing this PP. It's really tough. It's really tough. So what got us back? We are almost back. We are almost back with the same fighting spirit. What got us back is a sheer determination and a sheer passion about this one single largest country called India. So let's take pride in it. It's not 2 days in a year we put our flag on the chest and then salute the flag and move on in our life. This flag has to be etched in our chest, in our hearts forever. So once we do that, we know all this economy, whatever we see, the challenges we see, we are facing a very formidable enemy at the border, China, and we are facing a very cunning enemy in the other side, which is Pakistan. We are facing a lot of issues internally. We have seen a lot of people lost jobs, a lot of people have cut down their pays, a lot of people lost their business, livelihood, a lot of things are happening. So what can take us further? Yes, we are here, there are problems at home and problems in the neighborhood as well. What can take us forward is the concept of India, the oneness of India, and we being the proud citizens of this country. Believe me, this is the only thing which can take us forward. No caste, no religion, no state or any kind of groups which we have among ourselves will never take us forward. Only the true spirit as an Indian, or taking that sense of pride as an Indian, will and definitely will take us forward. So I am happy, and again I will call out certain names. Hi Dhanwant, Ajay, Rangan, Hi, Sai Purni. Hi, Kavita. Am I boring you? So, Rangan, hi. You look more like me. I think you study less and you don't play a lot. Okay. Okay. So this year we'll hope that we will be in a better place and a better country to live in. So we have challenges here, fine. But hats off to again thank the teachers. I really don't know how you all did this, standing in front of the cam and then trying to guide the students. And as naughty as them, that's their age. It has to be. It requires a lot of patience and it requires a lot of we call it as an adaptability. A soldier always is adaptable to various environments. Like we serve in, I served in a place where it was minus 23, and down 3 days when I come on leave to Chennai, it was plus 40. So, but beyond that, teachers suddenly came and then they quickly got adapted to the online mode of teaching, and students also did their where they somehow we have the habit of navigating and find our own means. That's good. We hope we all are back to schools very soon. I know it is going to be tough for children. Most of them are kind of semi-holiday mode. So once they are back, it's teachers' responsibility to get them back into the school grade. Because this online, yes, this is a only option we have as on today to connect with each other. But the concept of schooling and being together, having those good, nice friendships, and then interacting with the teachers, meeting your guru is nothing can else compensate that. So we hope this thing comes as soon as possible. I pray to God for everybody's health and happiness. So as far as the school is concerned, especially for those elder kids who are sitting in the last, trust me, all my seniors above me can vouch me. The best phase of your life is school. Don't miss it. The best period, I'll tell you. Today you'll feel that I don't have money. My dad is paying me less pocket money. I want a bike. And once you are away out from the college, the bike comes with the responsibility. Then got to pay the EMI, and then you will get married, and then you will buy a car, and then you will have to again pay EMI. So slowly you actually start working for the bank, and you start living less for yourself. So this is the golden opportunity. I take pride in telling you all that I really enjoyed my school time. I used to get beaten up by my physics teacher, she used to hate me because my level of understanding of physics was not up to that mark. So and later my plus 1 and plus 2 I started hating my maths teacher because now maths teacher was good. She everybody scored good, but I hated maths. So finally I ended up in an engineering college where they said. So I'll tell you an interesting fact. I never wanted to do engineering, but somehow I got into engineering because my marks were slightly less than to become a doctor at those times. So I picked up engineering like anybody else. So I asked my friend, in all the 26 streams of engineering, which stream of engineering will have less mathematics? So he said two. One is leather technology and one is textile technology. I said, okay, let me take textile technology. So I went and did my textile technology. And I had my own struggle in maths. Fine. Then I said, okay, let me join army. So I was quite passionate about it. What prompted me to join army was Kargil War. Because I was in my second year of my engineering. And every day in the newspapers, these days you have information access at a click of 4G in your mobile. But those days we didn't have that. So every day we used to read those Hindu news dailies, and only news channels we had was NDTV, I suppose. So we used to go and see what's happening in the thing. So every day we saw that that we were beaten up, and then we were inching close to victory. And then there was unbelievable stories and unbelievable valor and heroism which happened. Trust me, the Kargil war was not won by weapons. The Kargil war was not won by strategies or the sheer size of the military we have. Kargil war was won by people with within the age bracket of 19 to 25. That's one of the toughest battle ever fought by India, even though it was for a shorter period. So that prompted me, okay, let me go and join army. In army, and again I asked the same question: which stream of army will have less mathematics? Then they said no, everywhere you have to study mathematics. Then I went and picked up. I thought just I'm going to pick up a rifle and thing. So, but actually, rifle has a lot of mathematics. And I went and picked up the next weapon, the tanks and this thing. So they also had a lot of mathematics. So mathematics won't leave you, or physics won't leave you. So what I'm saying is, don't try to hate the subject. Just enjoy the fun of it. Not everybody can be master of all the subjects. Pursue your passion, whatever you're passionate about, pursue that. But our education system does demand us to score a certain level of marks to be at certain level, because in your generation, especially your generation, is more and more competitive. Understand, you are like living in a very, very competitive world. So think smart, think certain careers which are out of blue, or from the routine engineering and medical and IT. There are a lot of careers outside IT. You can connect with me and tell you about that. So like our contribution, when I say our contribution, or state's contribution in a field like sports management, it's almost nil. When I say sports management, I'm part of one event called IPL, which you all like celebrate. So what you see on the screen, 11 players and another 2 bowlers playing, like 15 or 20 people. At the back end, there are 2,000 people who work in this. In this 2,000 people, all those managers and the bigger guys who come and conduct this tournament, we hardly have any representation from Tamil Nadu. So these are the places where you can actually look at, which we call it as an offbeat career. Everybody need not to be engineer like me, because after my engineering, I really don't know what is textile engineering, because I'm doing something else. So whatever you do, just do it with passion. Whatever you do, just do it with passion. You may not be master of all subjects. That's perfectly fine. But even if you pick up one, just do it with passion. I'm 101% sure that you will succeed. So again, I'm not giving you a lengthy, boring lecture. I know it's pretty boring because you all have been here way before me. I thank once again each and every one of you for inviting me. And if you need some special flavor, okay, in your career, the path you want to choose, if you need some special flavor, just 5 minutes back, you saw a movie. It's real. This life, army gives you life. Rest everything else will give you a job. Rest everything else will give you salaries and whatnot. But definitely forces will give you a way of life. I still follow most part of it, which the primary is being fit. So fitness, you learn, you become a master of PhD or PhD of physics, and you become some big nano scientist or so and so, artificial intelligence. Doesn't matter if you're unfit and unhealthy. So being fit is the key, because why am I saying this particular generation which is born after 2000, ma'am, I think you would agree with me. Wherever you see, it is food. In our times it was not, believe me, our times going into a hotel was, I think maybe, if I go and used to ask my dad, he said, go get my first time, which I can never can get in my life. That's a different story. So that's how it has to be. It used to be incentive. Now today you step out everywhere, and then you have a mobile where you can, Swiggy, Zomato and whatnot, you keep punching it and then the food keeps coming. Eating so much of food is fine, but we need only a bit of food. Trust me, whatever we're eating today, we need actually 50% of it. So either we have to eat less, or whatever you eat, you have to work out more. And doing both is fine. So try to focus on your health. It's very, very alarming to see obesity in school children, which is clearly a national risk. It's obesity in school children is never heard of. In my times, and I won't, maybe he's watching, maybe later in YouTube he'll watching and he'll scold me. One of my good school friends. So that guy used to be like this. We used to call him Gundubaya. So but there only one. Rest all of us were like skinny mini and this thing, and we used to run behind kites, and in peak of summers we used to go and play cricket the whole day, get hurt.
So get back to that pace because this is the foundation. This is the foundation of your life. Trust me, this is the foundation of your life. The foundation is right in terms of what you get into your mind and in terms of how fit are you. That continues throughout your life. So don't lose fitness. Studies is fine. All the pressure which is on you is also fine. But being fit is the most key parameter of every human being. So 30 minutes, I would mandate you all, to even to the teachers and the staff out here, ma'am, 30 minutes is the bare minimum you should give it for your own self. You have 100 commitments, you have kids, you have school children, you have assignments to complete, you are homemakers, you do 100 jobs, hats off to you. Like literally men cannot do that much. But this 30 minutes, if you are not done anything, start walking from today. 15-20 minutes, slowly take it to 30 minutes. People who are already walking, start a bit of running and so. So running is not something which is something like which people can't do at different ages. I run every day because I'm passionate about running. So we have a runners group. The latest member in my runners group 3 months before, senior ma'am, her name is Sheila ma'am. She's 64 years old. So she used to see me running every day and then my close to my home. And one day she asked like, can I also run? I said, ma'am, you can run. Like I'm 63. I said, nothing, we'll start slowly. So we started, said, how should I run? How much should I run in the first day? I said, from this poster, from that lamp post, you just run. And one moment you have this gasping of breath and all, when you lose breath, so slow down. And they started, I still remember the date, it was 15th of October, I suppose. And today she runs, I'm not joking, I can vouch it, I can get her in front of you all and make her share her experience. She runs 3 kilometers non-stop without a break. And every day she is there. Sometimes if I feel lazy, I don't go, she used to call me. Okay, so that I'm saying, as I said, the food availability is everywhere. Everywhere we see there's all food and food. It's easy to eat, but believe me, it's not needed. That much is not needed. So 30 minutes of investment is what every one of us has to do. Believe me, my dad is diabetic because of his age and factor. Being diabetic and living with it becomes horrible. You have an insulin and then you can't eat what you want and then you have to meet the doctors at certain time. So stay healthy, stay focused, do whatever you do, even if you do pick up one task, do it with passion and stand with this society, keep this entire momentum going. I know it's tough, maybe when you all become old and become like us, come to our age, you will have things to deliver. There's something called Corona which happened and your kids will say, what Corona? Nothing. I just heard in something that you guys are all sitting at home for 8 months, eating and sleeping, doing nothing. So that's how the world is going to be because the world moves fast. Nothing, if the world moves fast, we all move fast. So take this as an experience and propel this country, Sir's generation, they got us the industrialization. Right? There's a phase of industrialization. And then later, there's a phase of IT, information technology, 90 to almost 85 to 2010, 2015. So this is a phase where you have a very, very important responsibility. Why? Because the statistics say less than almost 55 crore of Indian or less than 30 years. Which means when you all grow up, you will have the responsibility of a lot of our, like we all become senior citizens by then, so you will have a lot of our responsibility to take on. So today's country is the 5th largest economy in the world and it's your responsibility to take it possibly to the 2nd and one day will be first. So till then, stay happy, stay focused. I pray to God to wish you all success and endeavor, whatever you do, you will succeed. Thank you, Jay Hind.